ABC News is hosting the next debate on September 12th as of right now. But if any more candidates qualify for that debate, it'll be split into two nights, with the second falling on Friday the 13th. Not a good sign there. Joining me now from our bureau in Washington, D.C., political correspondent and video journalist Nicholas Ballasy. So, Nicholas, how important is it for these candidates to actually make it to that third debate stage?
It's crucial. I mean, the candidates who are on the lower end of the polls, I mean, it's a crucial time for them to, voice their positions on the hot button issues of the day, frame their candidacy, and try to, get some more support going forward. So you need to be on that debate stage if you're a serious candidate, especially at this stage.
And for a lot of these candidates, too, I mean, I don't want to speculate, but I think it's safe to say that a lot of them are not getting the nomination to challenge President Trump in 2020. So for a lot of them, and I'm not only talking about the ones on the cusp, such as Steyer and Gabbard, is this kind of more of an audition for maybe a cabinet seat, or are they kind of doing it for their own future prospects? Is that what a lot of people would say is going on?
I mean, when you look at Steyer specifically, I think he's getting some support from people who are single-issue voters who are really concerned about climate change. And they also may be supporting him because he was an early supporter of impeachment of President Trump. He was one of the first ones out there. He spent a lot of money on ads for impeachment. So I think that's why you're seeing Steyer actually get some support, which may actually land him on the debate stage. As for others who may not even qualify but will stay in the race, like de Blasio said in the clip you just played, I mean, that may be it. They're trying to, increase their national profile because maybe they have other plans in the future.
Yeah, and so regarding that next debate, I mean, the last one, it was substantive, a lot of people would say, but it was also pretty hostile at times. We saw Tulsi Gabbard, for example, go after Kamala Harris, and now we look at the polls. I mean, at that time, Kamala Harris was surging. She was one of the top, I believe, 3 candidates, maybe 4. Now she's really struggling to gain ground. So do you think you're going to see other candidates in the third debate try to do a similar type tactic to maybe go after one of those front runners, whether it be Biden, Warren, or Sanders?
Yes, I think other candidates are looking at that exchange between Gabbard and Harris and saying, I might be able to do the same thing by going after one of the front runners and try to make a mark. When you look at specifically the Harris and Gabbard exchange, I mean, Harris hasn't even responded yet to some of the attacks on her criminal justice reform record that were launched by Gabbard. There are some points she hasn't addressed. She kind of gave a very vague response, a vague defense of her time in California. And look, I mean, when you look at Harris, she hasn't even had that much of a record, I mean, in the Senate. She's still in her first term. So a lot of candidates, when they go after Harris, are going to go back to her time in California as Attorney General. And I think also you're going to see more candidates go after Warren, because Warren is now above Bernie in most polls. She's considered one of the front runners. And of course, any candidate who can go after Biden is going to take the opportunity, I think, even if it means attacking parts of the Obama legacy, like we saw in the past with the Obamacare criticism that surprised some people coming from Democrats themselves who supported Obamacare and support its expansion.
Right, and in regard to the Kamala Harris situation, too, I think she found herself in a very difficult spot in the sense that she is trying to pander to the more progressive part of the base, but her record, I mean, as a prosecutor, is anything but progressive. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard laid out just a couple of those instances, but there's a number of others. I mean, we've reported here at One America News. It's been reported even on places like MSNBC and CNN. Her record by no means is progressive. And Joe Biden actually came out and said that at one point, not as effectively as Gabbard, but when he was saying, I was a defender, not a prosecutor. So with all that being said, acknowledging how Kamala Harris has fallen in the polls since the Gabbard attack, do you think that debates really do have a big influence on how the electorate perceives these candidates?
Absolutely, because you can do event after event locally in various states throughout the primary process. But when you're on the debate stage and you're toe-to-toe with others, mainly the front runners, with the people who are lower in the polls, I mean, it's a crucial time for you to frame your position on the biggest issues and try to make your mark. Biden does have a lot to lose. Warren does have a lot to lose, too, because they have to maintain their front-runner status. So it's crucial for everybody up there on the stage. And Biden, I think he does have the most to lose. Warren has a lot of momentum behind her right now. We're seeing it fall for Bernie Sanders. We're seeing it fall for Harris. But Biden has to keep that front runner status, and he's had some stumbles on the campaign trail so far. If he stumbles on the debate stage, it's definitely not going to help him maintain his status as the front runner in this race at this time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too. He's had those stumbles over and over again, but he hasn't fallen in the polls yet. So a lot of people are saying that it's Biden's race to lose and Warren's to win, but they're kind of wondering what exactly Warren has to do in order to make up that ground. Like I said, right now, only time will tell. Nicholas, thank you very much for joining us tonight.